What I will do is give you options and let you know your options, and so that you and also make it so that you can understand your options. Because if you're thinking that's your only option is to be in gangs, then that's what you're gonna do.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast, The Empire Podcast. Yes, my name is Antonio The Miles, and we have a great interview today. But before we get into it, don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe, tune in, But we're just going to jump right into it. And today we have a great guest, a man who cares for the people, cares about the youth, and so much more. This is a great, great man. His name is Terrance Stone from Young Visionaries. Welcome to the podcast, Terrance Stone.
Oh, thank you, Miles. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
It's good to be here. Good to have you here.
Man, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. So how's your day been, Terrance? How's it been?
It been good, busy. I wake up, grind on the mind, and then just keep that moving throughout the day.
Just hustling, going nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop. That's
Kinda
how
like
my days go.
Like a train.
A moving train.
Like a moving train, of course. Wait,
Yeah.
Who think about a train stuck in the lane?
Yeah.
Who thinks that about a train, right? So Terrance, Mr. Stone, for the people who don't know, who you are, what you do, can you please tell us who you are, what you do, and why we're here today?
Oh, most definitely. My name is Terrance Stone. I'm the founder, CEO of Young Visionaries Youth Leadership Academy. We've been here in the Inland Empire for about 21 years now, working with kids and families and communities and things like that. Obviously 21 years ago I had no gray shadow beard and none of that, but it's been a great journey. We work with over altogether collectively about 155,000 kids and families throughout the Inland Empire. Work with about 5,000 kids a month, a year actually, 5,000 kids a year right now. In different schools all the way from the San Bernardino area all the way up to the high desert as well too.
Wow, high desert like Victorville.
Yeah, we have office in Victorville, so we work in Victorville and all those surrounding cities.
Wow, and so you said like over 150,000? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, or collectively or over the years basically.
Wow,
yeah,
that is
yeah.
amazing. That is amazing. And I'm assuming you have like an affinity for the youth and for young people, right?
That's my thing. My goal is really, I just love to see people succeed, and it's easier to help people succeed when you start them young, basically. Because when we get older, we start getting set in our ways, and I ain't doing it like this, I ain't doing it like that. But when you catch young people and you start pointing them in a direction of success, they can catch on better, and they can recognize it as well though too.
Gotcha.
So I try to work with the young people on that. We also work with adults as well too. We have a supply chain logistics program, a forklift training program.
Cool.
Where they actually get on a forklift and train and things like that. We do parenting classes as well. So we also work with adults too.
I like that. And like you were saying, it's hard to teach the elderly, like, because that old saying where can't teach an old dog new tricks, right?
Yeah.
But then the also saying is like children are like a sponge.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's it just right there. Just working with young people, just trying to, figure them out. And our thing too, most of our population are high risk kids,
Okay, of course.
Poverty, gang environments, things like that, abuse, trauma. And so just working with those kids, because I know myself and a lot of my staff were those kids, gang situations, trauma, abuse, things like that. So just pouring into those kids the tools that they need to be successful, actually.
I love it. And so, Terrance, can you give us like a brief story about, where your life started and how you got to the point you are right now?
Yeah, most definitely. Well, myself, I was second generation gang member.
Okay.
And so just coming out of gangs and just that lifestyle, I grew up in an abusive household, drugs in the household,
Gotcha.
guns in the household, everything.
Is this an LA gang?
Well, out of LA County.
Got you.
So, and so just coming out of that situation, and people think it was sudden. I didn't really stop or come out that situation till I was almost 30 years old, basically.
Okay.
And so
when did it start? What age would you say it started?
I was raised in and around gangs.
Gotcha. So
Right.
from birth, basically.
From birth, basically. And so with that, and I say that because, all my life I've been around gangs. Before the Crips were Crips, I was around the Crips.
Got you.
They were called, like, they were other little businessmen and Slauson boys and things like that. And they turned Crips or Bloods, basically. But being in that environment and just growing up and just, and you think that it's your way of life. You're supposed to live like this. If that's all you see every day, like this, you're supposed to live like this. So I thought that I was supposed to live like this. I was supposed to sell drugs. I was supposed to carry guns. I was supposed to shoot at you if you made me mad. And so coming out of that and realizing that, this is not a lifestyle, it's more of a death style, basically, because we're proud of everything that we're not supposed, like we're proud to die.
Death culture.
What I mean? We're proud to be incarcerated and things like that. And not knowing that that's not supposed to be your life, basically. But if you're trained to do that and you're doing that well, right? You feel like you're at the top of it.
Yeah.
And so coming out of that, actually I was facing 2 life sentences plus 25 years of life. And then so after that incident, that's when I decided, okay, I'm done. So then
got you. Would you mind telling us what it was for?
It was a gang-related shooting.
Got you.
And so after that, I was, that was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I was done after that. And so, but I didn't want to just leave and leave all these younger people stranded there. My goal was just to come back and start working with kids that are in those environments, right? So I went back. I just started doing gang intervention. That's all I knew. No education, a little bit of schooling, got a GED. Haven't been to college yet, but I knew gangs. I said, I can go talk to kids about gangs if I don't know nothing else.
Facts.
And so that's what I started doing. And in the midst of that, went back to school.
Got you.
A good friend of mine, guy named Bo Taylor, he passed away. He was actually out of Los Angeles. He came out here, seen what I was doing, what I was working on, and he was like, hey, man, we got to have scholarships through our program to send cats to school to Cal State L.A.
Wow.
And so that's what he did. He sent me to school, went to Cal State L.A. If I'd have known, I could have caught the Metrolink every day.
That part, yeah.
I was driving my car back and forth.
You found out the hard way?
I found out the hard way. After it was over, I was like, man, I could have caught the train out here. Every day was right here.
That part.
And so, but I endured it, made sure I was there, didn't miss any classes, and got through it. But besides that, my goal really was just to help kids not to be in gangs and show them that you can do and be anything you want to do and be in life,
Facts. Mm-hmm.
And I was saying that before I was who I wanted to be in life. I just wanted to make sure that they understood that
it was possible for them.
And so as I was building them, I was also building myself as well, though, too.
I love it. So one thing that I was really curious about is, like, so how did you actually go about doing the interventions for the gangs? Like, what was your approach? What did you do?
Well, most of it was just speaking engagements. So we hit schools and community centers and group homes and wherever they have me speak. I actually made flyers like, hey, I'll come speak to your kids. And so just sitting down with them, just talking to them. Mm-hmm. And when even today when I'm working with kids, I tell kids, like, I'm not going to be able to talk you out of gangs. If I can sit here and do a motivational speech so strong that you'd be like, man, I'm about to stop gang banging today. I said, you shouldn't even be in gangs, because it's more than that. I said, but what I will do is give you options and let you know your options, and so that you and also make it so that you can understand your options. Because if you're thinking that's your only option is to be in gangs, then that's what you're gonna do.
Facts.
So what I do, I just sit down and I help them, to go over their values and their belief systems and things like that, and the options that they have, what you're good at. Mm-hmm. When I encounter kids, I ask them 3 questions all the time, unless it's a whole assembly. But if you give me a small group, I'm gonna go around that group individually and ask them what's your name, your age, and your dream job.
I
tell them your name, because you're important. Their age, usually they're young. Like, man, you got time to do whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm. And your dream job. I ask them their dream job. It's not that I can personally do something about that dream job, but if they have a dream job, right, then there's something in the back of their minds that they'd rather be doing than game banging.
Facts.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now, bam, you got that's one option right there. Like you want to own a barbershop, or you want to, own a dispensary, or do auto mechanic, drive trucks, whatever it is. That's something that you'd rather be doing. So let's figure out how to do that, and then let's see, once you start accomplishing and getting towards that, which one feels better. Just being in the streets, game banging, or owning your own business.
Yeah.
Let's work that out.
You want to always look. You always want to look behind you, look around your back, or you want to look forward.
Yeah, and I just try to get them to realize that, and also too, I let them know, like, when you get there, try to figure out a way to help somebody else. So I always tell them that, because they, especially on me, like they always like my homies, it's on my homies, it's the homie. I said, well, look, you a good homie when you can help your homie get out the situation that he's
Facts.
in. So I said, if you can't do that, then you really ain't a good homie.
Yeah.
If y'all just doing the same thing, perpetuating it, and you in it, and you're not helping him to change his lifestyle or change his life so that he can help his kids and his families, then you ain't a good homie. But you can't do that if you're in the same situation that he's in.
Got to help yourself first.
Change your situation, then you can help him change his.
Facts.
Yeah.
Be a reaching hand.
Yeah.
So we left off talking about Cal State LA.
Right.
That's where you left off.
Yeah.
So continue. Go up to where we are now. That's what we want to continue from.
Okay, so Cal State. So I was already doing Young Visionaries. Young Vision, the title actually, or the name of the organization actually came from the Bible. When it said our old men will have dreams and our young men will have visions.
Facts.
Right?
Mm-hmm. That's
so
Old
just
Testament.
coming up with that, and then after that is just I had to learn how to put together productive, innovative programs. Because at first, all I knew was ganging. All I knew was just go talk to you. I can talk to you all day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then putting together like structured programming. So I had to learn that. So over the years, we've adopted some different curriculums and things like that. But the goal was to put together structured programs.
Gotcha.
So we have a whole plethora of structured programs basically now.
Nice.
Dealing with mental health. We still do gang intervention, structured mentoring programs. Workforce development programs, employment development programs.
When you say mentoring, what do you mean when you say mentoring?
Well, mentoring, we have a group of young people working with young people, and so they're in schools and after school programs. Even we're starting to get like apartment buildings and things like that, with community centers calling us now as well to go in and just mentor the kids basically.
Cool.
So that's what we have. We discussed earlier, Gabriel Cannon, right? Nick Cannon's little brother. He's been with us for about 6-7 years, mentoring kids. He loves it,
Okay.
And we also have Van Swan. Van Swan's a professional singer. I have 2 CDs hanging in the back on my wall over there from him. He's a great mentor. He actually contracts with probation and everyone else just to, working with their kids, throughout the whole county of San Bernardino. Yeah.
Oh man, it's awesome. So basically, you've started as a single person, and then you've been able to grow into a team and an organization to help execute these better curriculums, better programs to reach a broader audience, basically.
Yeah. And that came with just just maturing, because when you start off, you're like, yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna conquer the world. Yeah, the world is big. You ain't gonna do it like
Facts.
that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So it's better just to bring on a team. And two, like I probably have the least amount of education out of all of my staff, basically, because I hire people with we have licensed clinical social workers, therapists on staff, people with degrees in this and degrees in that, basically. So and I realized too that I cannot be the smartest person on the team. So I start bringing in people with expertise and passion to work with young people, and also just young people. I also realized too that I started Young Visionaries, but I'm an old dude now.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean? So I have to bring in younger people still to be able to to directly communicate, with the kids. Now, I still think I'm cool, but the kids don't think I'm cool.
Got
no
you.
more,
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? So I had to bring in young people that can, get in there and speak their language and things like that. I get tired walking up a flight of stairs now.
That part.
So I have to get young people that can keep up with them, work with them, and things like that as well too.
And be like relatable to them and
very relatable.
Yeah.
That's the key. Yeah.
And it's kind of like your Trojan horse a little bit.
Yeah, something like that, And still, we meet, my team, we meet every Monday so that we can kind of stay on one accord, know what's happening and things like that. The only kids I really work with is the incarcerated kids, right?
Okay.
Because I
like
know
juveniles?
how I feel, juveniles.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, I've been in state and adult prisons as well, state and federal prisons as well, though, too. But I've been there, so coming out of that, I feel like I can still go back and I can add value to the conversation and working with them so that they can see someone. I went to California Youth Authority when I was open. When I went there, I had when I was 16, I had around 15 years in California Youth Authority.
Okay.
Then from there, went to state prison.
What's California Youth Authority for people who don't know?
That's the baby prison. That's where, let me tell you, California Youth Authority is a place where they send kids that you don't know they even send kids until you get there, right? Then when you get there, you be like, when I got there, I was like, this is baby prison, because everyone that you've seen, back in my day, I was in there in the mid 80s, and you see all the guys that people read about now in gang books and things like that. Like I was literally walking the yard with these guys and things. So, but people I didn't know that there was a place that they can keep kids long term until I got there, because the streets, they don't give you that information. They don't give you that information in the rap lyrics they listening to in the books or, literally you did not know until you got there. I was like, dang, I was wondering where this cat was. I ain't seen him in years. He's sitting in here, And so that's what that is. So I was in there at 15 years old, or 16 years old. They gave me like 15 years in there, and actually that made me worse. So when I got out, I was worse off mentally and emotionally than I was when I went in there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So then my stay on the street was shorter, and I went to prison after that. Basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's it's kind of common though. That's kind of a common thing that happens to a lot of people who have been incarcerated to basically go back, right?
Yeah. Well, the California Youth Authority, they shut it down because their recidivism rate, people going back and forth, was 85%.
That's ridiculous.
So that means only 15% of those kids. So out of 100 kids, only 15 would stay out and maybe be successful.
Yeah.
The other 85 would either go back there or go back to prison.
Got you.
Right. So so a system like that, if that was a grade, like you're getting an F minus right now.
Facts.
So they just had to shut that down. So now they house all of their all of our violent or violent offenders or high offenders. Now we have to house them locally in our county, and every county has to do that.
Okay, close to where the offense took place.
Yeah. So if say for instance if you are 14 years old, you killed someone in the county of San Bernardino, then the county of San Bernardino has to keep you. Same thing with San Diego, Los Angeles, Bay Area, and all the other counties across California.
If say hypothetically someone does kill someone in the county of San Bernardino, but they plead like insanity, would they go to what's that called? Oh man.
Or like Patton or something.
Would they go to Patton?
You know what?
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's like a legal question.
Got you. I just had to ask. I was kind of curious because county and everything like that. So we kind of, a good reason why you started this was from your own life experience, right? And you wanted to help the youth, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say is like the age range, like the most common age range that Youth Visionaries deals with?
Oh, we work with kids in elementary, middle, and high school, and then also adults. So so we have kids as young as like 9 years old all the way up to like 18 years old. Actually, one of our kids, young lady, she was in our program. She did well. I think she was in our program for like 2-3 years, graduated from high school, and we just interviewed her yesterday, so she'll be starting here Monday. Being an office assistant.
Wow.
And she was working fast food. So seen her. Actually, I seen her. I was like, "What the heck you doing in here, making tacos and everything?" Like, come on over here, fill out this application, because we seen the potential in her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just had to make her realize that, get her around some success, and some great people.
Yes.
So then from here, she should be able to branch off and do whatever she want to do and finish up college and things like that.
Gotcha. Like, even elevate even more, because going back to what you said about, if you live in a gang environment, you're going to only think you can do gang environment stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're in a office space or in a space where there's thriving people that show you opportunities, then you can also have that as well.
And that's what we wanted to do with her. Just make sure that she can, see the success. Like, where she was working at, she wouldn't be able to see success because she's back there cooking food all day and washing dishes.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that that we didn't just drop her off, like get her through the mentoring program. She graduated high school, drop her off right there. We seen her, brought her back in, employed her. So now I think she's gonna go out and do great things beyond us.
Wow, that's amazing. Sometimes I like to drive around and like see like nice houses, big houses.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really important for everybody to see things that they want and like spend your time around it. So I see like a nice big house, I'm like, yeah, I see it, I can dream it, I know it's possible. I even heard other people say like, I always wanted to ride in a Ferrari because I want a Ferrari, and then when they ride into it, it like gets them even closer to be like, you know what, I can get a Ferrari now just by being in the environment. It's amazing and how crazy environment controls us.
Yeah. I have one of my mentors, Reggie Webb, a guy named Reggie Webb.
Okay.
They used to own Webb Family Enterprises. They own a whole bunch of McDonald's and other things. But Reggie always said that you can't hit a target that you can't see. And so I still live by that. That's why as a kid, what's your dream job? You know what I mean? So that, we even have like a little visualization, groups where, okay, now can you see it? You know what I mean? And close your eyes and we talk you through this. What does your life look like? What does your family look like? What kind of car you want to drive? Because basically you can't hit a target that you can't see. Unless you're extremely lucky. And that's not my lifestyle, luck. I run off hard work and persistence, basically. But if you're lucky, you probably hit that target. But a lot of people I know don't run on luck and not lucky at all. So I try to get them to visualize that, or even just take them around, even just taking kids to like college campus tours. We have like, Cal State right here. What's that? Baptist University over there, Riverside, University. And a lot of our inner city kids have never been to a university campus. I like take those kids. We take them on the campus, even to USC, UCLA. Take them to these campuses so that they can walk around there, feel the environment, and just like you said, sit in that Ferrari, like man, I can do this. I can be here.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because if Bo Taylor would have never came down here and got me, I would have probably never went to Cal State. Because he took me over there, and actually the first day of class, he walked me into class.
Wow.
Sat me down and walked off and be like, all right, I got you.
The rest is up to you.
Yeah. So it takes more than just sometimes just pointing kids or people in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to put them in the car, take them there, let them smell, feel that environment, right? And then, and then so they can, because you can want it for somebody all you want, but if they don't want it from themselves, it's not gonna happen.
Facts.
So you got to get them in a position where not only that they want it, but they can feel it. Like, man, I can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So so that's what we try to do as well.
I like it. It's like you can take the horse to the water.
Can't make them drink.
Yeah. So we can only do so much, and it's what you mentioned about the young lady that started when she was 9, but now she's becoming an office assistant. It reminds me of a section I got in my book, shameless plug, called The Reaching Hand.
Yeah.
Which is that, and you were saying too, like when you're to the kids, like if you guys make it big, bring up your friend.
Yeah.
It's really important to always have a reaching hand out to help, because eventually I always look at it this way. We need to reach out because eventually we're going to need someone to reach out for us.
Right.
It's like cyclical, or it's a circular thing where like we help each other, people are going to help us. Yeah. You know, so I really like that. And because we mostly deal with the youth, right? You said from ages 9 to
Well, we're in elementary all the way up to high school.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
almost 10 years, yeah,
almost 10, yeah.
10 years, yeah, basically. And you said you do help some adults and stuff like that as well,
we
right?
have workforce development programs, parenting classes, and things like that.
Okay, so have you noticed a correlation with why kids go down the wrong path?
Yeah, well, it's a few, because that's not like a cookie cut kind of answer or
Yeah.
correlation. You know what I mean? But I think one is environment. But in that same environment, right, you can take a few kids, and they can live in that same environment, and some can be successful, right, and then some will go down the wrong path. So it's a lot of factors or risk factors that will go into play with that. So for one, probably the household, the parents. How are the parents parenting? And a lot of times, we come from households, or I did, where my mother worked all day, all the time. Not even all day, all the time, but she worked a swing shift. Like that was that from like 2 to 12
type of thing. Yeah.
So from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 12 o'clock at night, my mama gone. So then me and my younger brothers, because after we go to school, so then we're still not with her because she's at work, she's at home, she's sleeping. We're at school, supposed to be at school working, and then when we get out of school, she's on her way to work. So that really that interaction is not there as well though too. So it's a lot of different little intricate things. The peer pressure, the people that you hang around with. Sports are very important. Because that keeps kids active. It gives them that coach, a positive role model, and things like that. So I encourage kids to get into the football, basketball, softball, whatever it is, because it gives that structure, that teamwork, and things, and it puts people around you that can encourage you and help you. So it's really not just a cookie, because I see in households where one kid is successful and the other kid is in prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just hard dynamics basically.
Got you. But would you say that mostly it starts with the household? Would you say it mostly starts with the home?
Most definitely it starts with the household.
Okay.
And just instilling hopefully like the right things, in your kids, that they will go in the right direction basically, and hopefully they're making like those right decisions. That's why men are most definitely should be, even if you're not in the household, at least be around your son. Or be around your kids, because you don't have to be in the household. If it don't work out, it don't work out.
Simple as that.
But at least stay in contact with your son, especially I have a son, daughters too, but stay in contact with that young boy, because even if you're not in the household, boys still want to be around their father. You know what I mean? So then that bond, and you'll be able to give him the best advice that you can, even if you're not the best person. Even if you're not the best person, just try to give him the best advice as you can, so that he could, make the right decisions when he needs to make the right decisions and things like that. So if you're there or not, just keep in contact with that boy. So I know kids, their father is in prison, but they still brag on their dads. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So that's what I said. Just the bond, that whether you're there with them all the time or not, just spend some type of time, with them.
Facts. Yeah, I've even seen. I did a recent topic on Fathers Matters, did a episode on that. Check that out if you guys can. And it's been statistically proven that fathers in the house help children so much, and especially like young boys staying out of prison, depression, helping young girls, even helps the wife. So it's like so crucial to have like a man, even if it's like you said, even if it's not in the house, be involved. It's just crucial, and it just makes so much sense that and I'm probably sure you probably see it, that a lot of these young men that stray probably don't have a father figure that's been close.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Well, even that too, they have some where they're in the house. You know what? I worked with a kid. He was incarcerated, and so and he was in jail for possession of loaded firearm.
Okay.
And come to find out that the firearm was his parents' firearm, and it was a service firearm, right? Because his mother was a military police, and his father was a correctional officer, right?
Okay.
But still, this kid was still, even though he had the both his parents are law enforcement, right? But he was still gang affiliated and proud to be gang affiliated, and got caught with his parents' firearm, basically, like in the street, you know. So so just the dynamics is just crazy. So now I don't know the whole dynamics of that situation, right? But I know that even though in my mind I'm thinking like, okay, if you got two parents with two good jobs, your income is good. You know what I mean? You got PlayStation, everything in your room.
Yeah, you straight.
You know? So, but still, this kid somehow strayed to the street, got influenced by somebody else, and had his parents' firearm. You know, so even though we talk about both parents in the house, you know, it has, you know, at least be a good dude. You know,
period.
You know what I mean? Because if you are abusive, alcoholic, drug addict, stealing everything, you know, and you can go. You know what I mean? Because she probably can find somebody that can replace you, that's gonna be there and make it happen. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So, you know, it's just the dynamics is just crazy. But as an organization and myself, you know, we just try to stand in those gaps and just try to be there as well, though, too. You know, we got some great people on staff, male and female, that's you know, every day out here working somewhere at a school and one of these communities, working with kids and people.
I like that. You know, speaking of staff, can you give a shout out to a couple of the members of the great staff that you have? You know, talk a little about us.
We got a whole bunch of them. I ain't gonna say all their names, you know, because I forget somebody, I'm gonna be mad. But we got some great people with our we have our mental health program. It's called SMART. It stands for Successfully Motivating African Americans Through Resiliency Training. So with that, we got Amanda Van, and she has her team, Dominique and Mr. Sita, and so they're Rialto, San Bernardino, High Desert, working with young people, and it's just a mental health program, you know. So Amanda's been with us like fresh out of like community college, like she's a graduate from USC now, and with her license as a licensed clinical social worker. But she's been with us since I think like 2013. Working with our young people in schools and in communities. And so she kind of heads up that program. Then Van Swan, he works with our kids via probation and things like that, through mentoring. And man, I don't want to start naming all. I'm trying to think around the room. We have our violence intervention prevention program.
The VIP.
The VIP program, Miss Kim and John and Tone, and so they're out there working directly, you know, with the hospitals and in the community, you know, working directly with that 1% of high-risk population that's in gangs or being victimized by gangs and things like that. It's a whole bunch of people. Gabriel Cannon, great mentor. Gabriel has a passion for like young people and God, and you know, and he's just, you know, man, he's just out there just on fire, you know, shout out to Gabriel. So and he's been with us for quite some time too, probably about 6-7 years or so. You know, and just killing it. DeVille Jackson, he's one of them Kappa brothers, you know, him and his guy Don that be with him all the time doing mentoring. So, you know, they're in schools and things like that. And also our admin staff too. We have a great administrative staff. And I'm going to tell people that if you're starting a program, make sure that your administrative staff is together, because when you start getting grants and contracts, it looks fun on the surface and out there, but you got to process all that paperwork. You know what I mean? So we have Jennifer and Jocelyn and you know, our admin staff is, you know, so they just be over there, you know, just typing and trying to keep us coordinated and things like that. So you know, we have a great team of people. I think we got about 16 staff members right now.
Awesome.
Making it happen.
Shout out to you, staff. Shout out to you.
Shout out to my staff.
Shout out to you guys. You know, so 2 questions. Is Young Visionaries for all cultures and kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It is, and we are. I can't even say, but it's for all cultures, and I know people say, well, that's a black program. It's not. We after if you call us, we can have people speak to you in English and Spanish over here.
Boom.
So, but we have programs that we're contracted with geared towards specific cultures and things like that as well, though, too.
Okay.
So when they see me, they say it's a black program, but it's really not. I didn't develop this. Like, okay, we're just gonna work with black kids or these kind of kids. We're here for the community, basically. So we work with all kids. Actually, when we do our demographics at the end of the year, we've worked with probably 60 to 70% of Latino kids, and the rest of that 30% is divided up to like maybe 10% African American kids, and then broken down to other nationalities and demographics.
Okay. Nice. See, so don't get it twisted, folks. I had to ask because I know some people probably think, like you just said, you see who they think, but it's like it's for everybody. So, did you notice any changes, like a higher rise in crime and more youth being lost during the pandemic?
Oh yeah. We've seen that most definitely. Within the last like 2-3 years or so, the high crimes, the more serious crimes,
Gotcha.
and things like that.
Like violent crimes?
Violent crimes, like the shootings, the murders, and things like that. Not just in our youth, but most definitely seen it in our youth, but also in our young adults as well, though, too. So, and it's just not in the city of San Bernardino. Across the country, violent crimes has went up, basically. Yeah. So I don't know how they're, it seemed like there's more access to guns on the streets and things like that. More kids are having guns, and not just little, like when I was growing up, we was happy if you had just like a little 22. You'd be like, man, I got my little 22, a little 38 special.
Facts.
No, these kids are running around with, long guns, 223 bullets, and things like that. They're, So I don't know how they're getting access to larger guns and larger clips, banana clips and drum clips and things like that. Just holding, 50 something bullets but the violence has went up. Plus, it seems like the access to weapons has went up as well, though, too.
Gotcha. Do you think this is by accident, or do you think it's kind of like purposely done? Because you can't just come across this. It's like military style weapons, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, when I say no, they are. I would say that they are military style weapons. So, you know what? I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, type of dude.
Got you.
But I do know that black folks and for most folks, music moves us,
Okay.
And so since the music is more violent and more vulgar and things like that, the kids are really just acting out what they hear.
Okay.
So if they're up in the morning and they listen to somebody like kill a nigga, get him. That's what they doing.
Shoot a nigga, kill a nigga.
The baby in the car seat, singing the same songs.
Facts.
too. So you got kids from elementary school to preschool all the way up to high school, and this is what they're listening to all day, basically. And I think that's by design.
Okay.
I heard somebody speaking, and they were saying like you can't put a song on the radio, and they're talking about killing dogs. Like they won't play it on the radio, right?
Peter will come after him.
Somebody will come after. They won't even play it.
Okay.
Right. If they say, okay, I'm a kill a German Shepherd, then I'm a slice a poodle neck.
Right.
Like they're not gonna play that.
Facts.
Right. But
don't Mike Vick 'em.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's okay to play a song all day on the radio. It was talking about killing black
Bodies.
men and calling black women bees and stuff like that. That's okay.
Yep.
I think that's by design because
I like
there's
that.
certain stuff that they will not play, and so and I think that what happens too. I tell people I don't think black folks was together how we should have been since after slavery and probably up to maybe the 50s or the 60s or something. But our music was different. You know what I mean? We wouldn't if somebody come talking about, we're finna kill all these niggas on the song and you know, like, man, what the hell is you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were trying to listen to Luther Vandross and
Facts.
Marvin Gaye. You
Facts.
know, brother. You know, it was way too many of us dying. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You know, but now, like, our music is not geared towards uplifting us. You know.
Yeah.
And so these are the, you know, and since we're listening to that all day, it's okay to react like that now. Yeah. That's just, if I'm a conspiracy theorist, that's my conspiracy.
It's the music.
Theorist, yeah.
I would agree.
Well, it's the culture though too, because hip hop didn't start off like that.
Of course not. Of course not.
Actually, hip hop started off as a gang intervention program.
Hit them with it.
You know, with Africa Bambaataa and all them.
Hit them with it.
Bringing the Puerto Ricans and the blacks together in New York. You know,
B-boys,
you know, and you know, we're gonna battle it out now, you know, and so the music kind of reflected that, you know, the message and all that, and then as it went on, probably, you know, the early 80s, it started to change.
Gangster rap.
When the gangster rap hit, you know, started to change, and that's what really they started pumping into the radio. So all the MCs and the groups that had that positive movements that feel good as dance and party, they started getting pushed out. And if you wasn't talking about killing and the streets, then you wasn't getting no airplay or nothing like that. Basically.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know, Terrance, I'm actually really glad you said that the culture and the music is a big influence on that, because I do believe that music is one of the most powerful tools, and subconsciously the youth may not realize that they're being programmed, even the older. And so, you know, if it's like, you know, I got 2 clips, take up the homie if he snitch, you know, type of thing. It makes sense, because like back in the day, you know, you don't see people going on murder streaks with the spinners. We're playing, you know what I mean? There was no Patti LaBelle beef with, you know. So it's I agree with him, ladies and gentlemen. I agree with him. I think it is the music, and I think the music is the key to that. And then, so go ahead.
Then also too, the and people don't know, like the devil was the choir director. You know what I mean? Before he got kicked out of heaven, you know how the story was told. You know, he was the, you know, so he played the music. So so when you talk about music influences, he took like a third of heaven with him, you know, because of the influences that he had based on, you know, he probably was the best singer in heaven. I don't know, but
he had to be.
But music most, because no other culture makes music that destroys their culture. You know what I mean?
Uh-oh. Say it again for they can hear that, please.
No other culture makes music that destroys their culture. So, you know, country music don't say that. You know, pop music is not like that.
Nope.
Whatever grunge music, I don't care if it's rock and roll music. You know what I mean? It, you know, they don't be like, well, if we gonna do this, we gonna do that. You know, they probably talk about drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, they might talk about hurting themselves.
Yeah, but then they go to sleep after that. You know, they not talking about getting in the car with some other good brothers or bad brothers, or you know, and let's go shoot up this neighborhood, and you know. So you know, and I think that's really like one of the problems that we have. You know, so then now. Right, if you look at what's the Young Thug now?
Okay,
right? And
that's he's locked up.
Yeah, he locked up for his lyrics. You know what I mean? So now, and me, I'm hoping. I'm like, well, I hope they just, I don't want to really see him in prison, because I don't think he did too much stuff out there. But if they make an example, like, okay, well, you can't say what you want to say on these songs, I'm like, well, that's good. You know what I mean? They need to not say what they want to say on them songs if it's destroying our culture and our people. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So, you know, so I'm really interested to see, you know, the outcome of that. I still believe in the freedom of speech and things like that.
100%.
But it's a limit. You know,
exactly, that's the difference.
And whatever that limit is, we've way surpassed, you know, that limit.
100%, especially if they're trying to accuse him of being a crime boss, basically, with the RICO. And so the reason how they can use the lyrics is because they're like, it's like a pile of evidence. They're like, okay, well, we have this here, but he also says this, and it kind of connects to this, so we can use this as a pile of evidence. And so, black women can do better. And I think, unfortunately, I think it goes back again to like good fathers being back in the home to help guide, like, because if you have a father around, you know, like that's or an adult man that you admire and respect, to say, hey, don't do that. Then most likely you ain't gonna do that, you know. And what was I gonna say here? Yes, do you think if the city and the county offered more like financial help to these, because it's mostly lower income communities that have the issues, right? It's not like high middle class that are dealing with this so much, right?
Yeah.
Do you think if the city and the county was more financially involved with these communities, do you think it would help?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what do we mean by more financially, involved, basically, because they've given out stimulus checks for like 2 years.
Facts.
Everybody got a check.
No reparations, though.
Yeah, no reparations. Working on that. So it just, I think is that is just have more access to, jobs and things like that. But it also still, I can't even, it still falls back on us because, we have like Cal State. Right there. They have like cybersecurity is one of the top jobs in the nation.
Yes.
They have thousands and thousands of cybersecurity jobs available, and they starting off at like $500,000,
Yeah.
annually.
Easily. Yeah, 6 figures.
Now, if we know that, right, but we still sitting there like, man, I ain't doing that cybersecurity stuff. That's the security. That sound like the police anyway.
Right.
You know what
that's
I mean?
a white man's job.
Yeah, and so now that's our fault though. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because so we have to not really depend or keep depending. The I'm gonna say the American system is not set up to help us.
Okay.
You know
just
what
keep
I
it
mean?
real. Yeah, be real. Be real.
So we can't always depend on that system to rescue us, right? If we standing by the pool and I know you can't swim and I push you in there and you drowning and you looking at me to rescue you,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah,
I'm the fool.
I might not go jump in there, but I want to see what happened to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because because that system was not set up for me to rescue you.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
It was set up for me to drown.
Set up for you to drown. So so the thing is that like we have to figure out how to swim in that situation.
Got you.
Right? And then how to teach others to swim in that situation as well though too. Because people are gonna keep pushing us in there to watch us drown. But if we keep looking at the person that pushes us in there with our hand up like help me, they gonna keep turning their backs on us basically. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or they'll throw a few little sticks out there like see if that works. See if that works. Like,
right.
So we'll keep flapping our hands until they throw enough little sticks out there so that we can build a raft, right? Or we can figure out how to swim. But the main thing is that we have to figure out how to save ourselves.
Facts.
Because we're in a system that's not set up for us, basically.
To win.
To win at all. So, and so we can't really blame them for that. We can't say, well, it's not enough jobs. It's jobs everywhere. You know what I mean? It's not enough, money. Like they was giving y'all like 3-4, money. Y'all still won't go back to work. You know what I mean? Because they've been feeding y'all checks for 2 years. Now you're like, okay, I done got comfortable. You know what I mean? And so we just have to figure out how to work ourselves. We can't depend like on the system. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If I don't depend on the system. I figure out how to get stuff done. Whatever it be. Whatever the opposition, whatever stumbling blocks they try to put in my way. I still go and I figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's how people just have to be. We have to be way more resilient because we're in America and we black. So we got to be way more resilient than an average person because, everybody gets more rights than black people.
That's a fact.
So
whether you guys believe it or not.
And even the rights that we fought for, everybody's benefiting on those
Another
rights.
Fact.
Rights
Another
than
fact.
black people are. So we can't really say, okay, well the city's not doing this, because the city's not, doing drive-bys. You know what I mean? Like they're not going through neighborhoods shooting at people. The city, the county is not doing that. It's us. So we can't really, So me personally, I'm past the point of blaming everyone else for our problems because I already see what's happening. I already expect them to do exactly what they do anyways.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
They ain't gonna change.
It's not, even though they say it is or they working on it. But even if they say okay, it's gonna change, it's gonna be a it's not going to be a drastic change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the stuff is systematic, and it's harder to change like systematic stuff.
Facts.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yes.
You know, so even they talk about like law enforcement. I said, well, that's systematic though too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yes, sir.
Because law enforcement was built to, you know, the badge. I have a picture on my phone, like the original
slave
badge.
catchers.
Yeah, the slave catchers.
Yes,
I like
sir.
that's systematic. You know what I mean? So even if you know, so we have to figure out how to first of all come together.
That's number
what I
one.
mean? So if we don't come together, we're never gonna get anything done. Stop hating on me. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do nothing but run Young Visionaries. You know, but I know that I'm a template because people do what I do.
I like
all the
it.
time.
I like it.
You know,
carbon copies.
Carbon copies. I said, but you ain't have to hate on me. Just do it. You know, I'm not gonna look at you and be like, look at this fool over here doing what we did. You know, I like if it's working for you. If I showed you how to get down and how to do it, you ain't got to ask my permission to do it. You ain't got to discuss it with me. I said, just do it if it fits you and you can make it happen. You know, because after the first person started rapping or singing, then everybody else had a different style. I like that's cool. We still now we got a whole genre of different music now.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So just go out there and make it happen, especially if it have to do with helping kids and community. If you can figure out how to do it and it look like what I'm doing or it don't, I like, man, just make it. The main thing at the end of the day, kids and community has been helped. So let's just get that done. But we have to figure out how to come together. And if we can't come together, we ain't got to sit at the same table all the time. Stop shooting at each other.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the main fact. We need the city of San Bernardino, we need to put together a giant just ceasefire. You know, it's okay. Like, it ain't got to be no peace treaty. I ain't even got to get along with you. I'm going to just stop shooting at you for a month.
Okay.
You know? So then if we get past a month, then I'm going to come back and be like, man, that was cool. Ain't nobody dying a month from gang-related guns.
Yeah.
Let's try to do another month. We can get past this whole summer, you know, with nobody dying from gang-related shootings.
I like that.
You know? So,
you hear that, city of San Bernardino?
Come on.
Say it again for them, Terrance, so they can hear it.
We need to get, what camera? I'm just
hit him with that one right there.
We need to get a city of San Bernardino ceasefire. It's not a peace treaty, because you ain't got to like me, we ain't got to get along, but a ceasefire. Let's put down the guns for 30 days and have a 30-day ceasefire just to see what happens in 30 days. But that don't mean you get to go over in his hood, antagonizing them, mess with them, talk to their girls, stay out their way, and they stay out your way. But, you know, if I see you at the Waterman swap meet or anything else, I know, okay, you know, you get a head nod. I see you, homie. It's a ceasefire. We all good. We going to buy some tennis shoes and some jeans and some shirts, and we going to get up out of here, you know, and everybody get to go home safe. Because I know a lot of these kids out here killing kids got kids, you know, so we know. So we want to be here to raise them.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So Terrance, Mr. Stone, what advice would you give to like a parent or a guardian who is struggling with a young child or a teenager?
I'm gonna say just be strict. You know, don't try to. If you're already struggling with your child or teenager, that means it's already some type of conflict there. Don't ease up. You know, because your kid is not your friend. You know,
Number one.
So, and my kids know that. I was like, it's a certain point. I love to joke around. We can crack jokes, but when, you know, they know, you're like, I ain't your homie. I ain't your friend.
I'm your father.
I'm your father. So I you know, just, so stay on their necks, basically. You know, be strict, because if you're not strict with them now, if they get incarcerated, trust me, they strict with them in there. You know, they gonna eat at a certain time, sleep at a certain time, you know, whatever they have to do is at a certain time. So trust me, they rather you be strict with them now than someone else have to be strict with them later. So just stay on them, you know.
Yeah.
And also let them know why. You know, because sometimes we get the punishment, but not the why. So, you know, let them know why. Like, you know, don't do this because of this, you know.
Yeah, give them understanding.
So they can have understanding of what's happening.
Got you. And he's speaking, folks, from experience.
Yeah.
This is experience. He's not just talking because, you know, oh, this is an idea that came to his head. This is experience talking. Always follow the wisdom. The wisdom will guide you, right? So, Terrance, what are you and Young Visionaries currently working on?
Oh, a lot of things, man. I don't want to timestamp the interview.
Got you.
But we're working on a lot of community events in the community. You know, backpack giveaways. We're working on this year, probably like 10,000 backpacks, like helping to do 5 in the San Bernardino area and then 5 in the high desert.
Okay.
And then Christmas coming up, working with our, we got some great partners in Chic Shoes and Amazon and things like that. So so Christmas, I think last year working with Chic Shoes, Families and Kids Foundation, we did about 15,000 toys last year.
Wow.
And so we're gonna continue that partnership, working with Amazon with the Thanksgiving. We gave out hams and microwave ovens. We couldn't find turkeys for some reason. I don't know what happened during the pandemic. Y'all ate all the turkeys.
Just give them small chickens.
But we was looking for those too, but we found, like, I'm telling you, these hams was gigantic.
Wow.
And so microwave ovens, all kind of household goods and things like that. So as far as community engagement events, we just want to continue to keep giving back. And then, but also too, just doing like effective programming, so gang intervention programs, mentoring, mental health, trauma-informed care type programs and things like that. So we want to, because that's really the core of what we do. When we're doing like large event programs, we just did a Father's Day event, it went well. That's for like y'all can see us, that's more marketing than anything.
Yeah.
And I tell people that because a lot of people, they like people have an event and they still talking about it 3 weeks later. I like, yeah, we done did 4 events, since then. I like, that's marketing, so do it, get past it, and start working on the next thing. And so our mentality is like that. We're usually working on 3-4 events at like one time.
Wow.
And so but our core thing is just the direct contact, direct service with kids, and just trying to get these kids to be, to be better, feel better, and want to do better. And the biggest thing is that once they do all those better, is to help someone else to be better as well, though, too. So our thing is really direct services with our young people.
And that's going to be effective forever. Direct contact is going to be effective forever.
Yeah, most definitely.
Effective forever. So Terrance, you're the president, CEO of Young Visionaries, right? What would you like your empire to look like when everything's said and done?
You know what? I went through a training, a capacity building training, right?
Okay.
And so
what's that?
Capacity building, just to try to build your structure and things like that of your organization, to build a capacity in your organization.
Okay.
And so they asked me a question. They said, is your program system based or personality based?
Interesting.
And Young Visionaries is most definitely personality based because of me, because I've been there from the beginning, only staff running around doing stuff, things like that, meeting. And so now when my staff go to a meeting, and they have on a Young Visionaries shirt, name tag, whatever, and the first thing they say is, hey, where's Terrance? That's because we're personality based. So what I'm working towards is to get a system base. So just putting systems in place, so whether I'm here or not, Young Visionaries should be able to run without me, because I'm already gray hair and slowing down and things like that. So so probably 10 years or whenever, I know I've been doing this 21 years. I don't have another 21 years in me of doing community work. So so getting Young Visionaries as a system-based program, so it can run with me or without me, basically. Okay. So 100 years later, they already have a system. They're not worrying about me knowing. They probably don't even know what I look like now.
Got you.
You know what I mean? They probably done changed my picture, put an old white dude up there.
Oh, no, we'll have a statue for you. We got a statue for you.
Like, that was Terrance Stone. Be like, that's Benjamin Franklin.
That part, right?
But once you get a system based, and that's what people should really just strive for. So that's how you really create, just legacy and things like that. Because, like my son, I really don't know, the ins and outs of just doing this. It takes a lot, to be in this position. But the system in place, no matter who's sitting in this chair, the systems in place, they should be able to, just go through and just make everything happen, basically. So that's what I'm working towards, that.
Got you. And that's what you would like to see your empire become. Yeah,
just so where it should be successful without me being right here. So that's how I know that I'm successful, because whether I'm here or not, what I've set up and dreamed of and thought of is still helping people years later when I'm gone.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Terrance, I want to thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
And for people who love what you're doing, love your work, want to be a part of Young Visionaries, wants to somehow know how to find Young Visionaries, find yourself, can you please tell everybody how they can find you, how they can get a hold of you or Young Visionaries?
Yeah, just firstly, you can find us on Facebook, all social media platforms is Young Visionaries. Instagram is Young Visionaries page. Look for the logo right here. And then also, too, our website. I try to get people to go to our website. Is www.yvyla-ie.org, or just call us 723-1695. I almost forgot the number because I don't ever call myself. But it's 909-723-1695.
Awesome, thank you. And do you have any socials that any social medias that they can tap in with you with, or tap in Young Visionaries with?
Yeah, our Facebook Young Visionaries, or Terrance Stone. I have a Young Visionaries page as well too, and Terrance Stone on Instagram. So I'm mostly on those two platforms. Also LinkedIn, that's my business site. So go on LinkedIn, Terrance Stone as well, and add me, man. I need some more people, man.
Dang. Y'all heard him. Y'all know where to find him. Everything will be in the description, so you guys can click on that and link up with him. Terrance is doing great work with Young Visionaries. He's got a great team. You heard everything from him. You know what I mean? And I just want to thank Terrance, number one, for being on the podcast. And I also want to thank you guys for all listening. Without you, there would be no The Empire Podcast. There would be no Antonio D. Miles here on the platform. So I just want to thank you guys again for listening, tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, share. My name is Antonio D. Miles. Check out the information in the description. Got a book, got other things coming. And other than that, you guys, we will catch you in the next one. Peace. I say it's my duty. Yeah. Is it my will? Yeah. To do what? Yeah. To do is right. I say.
I don't know, to keep talking to be like, cut.